With that said, we always have the concern about state assessments, and no one's satisfied with how students with disabilities are scoring on state assessments. Again, that core instruction is critical to their success on those tests, but also we need to be every bit as much concerned about the progress that they're making on their IEP goals and objectives. And so those individualized strands that come through there. So while, yes, we need to continue to work and to make sure that our students are being as successful as possible in core curriculum, we also need to make sure that they're being successful on their own individualized education plans. Through all of this, I would say that we provide a lot of training, and yet I don't think there's ever enough training. And so we look at opportunities to provide that. One of the things that has happened this year with the addition of Nicole Hitchcock to our staff is an opportunity to provide more individualized training concerning individualized issues, and that has been helpful for the most part. And so, along with the strategizing that we do, as well as providing supports through Nicole, we have begun to take behavior plans, which we've had in the past, but we are really working on making those doable, reasonable, and making sure that we are providing the observations and the data feedback that make them appropriate behavior plans for specific students. They're always works in progress, and they need occasional refinement. There is no question about that. With that said, though, we do continuously look at those, and our goal is to build capacity in our district in responding to situations, keeping safety and appropriateness uppermost in everyone's minds. To kind of close out this section of my discussion, I'd like to say that as it pertains to assessment decisions, we are working always on making sure students are taking appropriate tests, but also that we are working to make sure that we get that communicated appropriately to the various parties. My final section this evening has to do with the whole transition to life after school. Part of the reason we need to talk about that is because, again, our graduation rate and our dropout rate for students with disabilities are not at all what we want them to be. And we want students with disabilities to do more in participating in their own educational process. With that said, we hired Kathy Fitzgerald as our transition coordinator, and she has come to us and has done a remarkable amount of research in the last 12 weeks on the various kinds of assessment tools and the various activities that go along with that to help students explore career opportunities, because it is our thinking, and it is the thinking of many educators, that as long as students have goals that are reasonable and attainable, and you keep that out there in front of them, that they will make progress through high school and ultimately graduate. We want all of our students to be able to articulate their goals for themselves, and we are working towards the goal of student-led IEPs at the secondary level, which I think will help in that endeavor. One of the things that we implemented this fall is the Soaring to New Heights program. This is a program that we have in conjunction with KU. And as long as we're allowing KU to take data, we have to make sure that only juniors are enrolled in this program. And that's been a good place to start because, again, we needed the professional development and the tools and so forth to make this effective for our students. What I can tell you is, after 12 weeks of a lot of learning, and at the beginning of this process, most of the students not being able to articulate a goal for the future, when asked last week by a visitor what their goals for the future were, every single one of those students was able to articulate a goal and to give some feedback about how they were going to get there. And so just in 12 weeks, that's made a big difference, and we are very pleased with how that is progressing.